The role video plays in coaching football and various other sports is becoming increasingly important.
In this week's Who Does That Job, turning a love for amateur sports into a valuable career.
Right now I'm tight on the draw here so they can see how the centers do on the face-off. And then once the draw happens, then I have to go wide here. So I'm going wide.
I'm Rob Zittlau, and I videotape coaching video for amateur sports. I love shaping athletes for the future.
Rob, with what you do, you're really combining two of your passions, sports and videography.
The reason I got into broadcasting in the first place is I wanted to be a sports announcer. And I didn't like the sound of my voice, and so I decided that I could still be a cameraman, editor, and yes, sports has been a passion since I first went to NAIT back in 1980.
I've written up like a football tips 101. There's about 14 different things that we look for in how to videotape various parts of a football game. Coaches have to find out, okay, what numbers were involved in the play, and so if you stay wide, then a lot of times you can't find out that information.
And what you're doing now is basically a role to be the eyes for these coaches.
Yes, especially when it comes to football, they can't get enough video. A lot of times I'll hear from coaches and they'll talk to a player and they'll say, well, what did you see in this play? And the player will say, well, I saw this. And the coach will say, oh, I disagree with you. And then they look at the video, and then the video doesn't lie.
So on change of possession, I take a shot of the score clock so they know what time is.
The coaches then see, are they doing something right? And then players can see, are they doing something right? And then they can also get scouting video, and so they can then break down what other teams are doing so that they can come up with a game plan on how to beat that team. It's getting very involved now. So this is the game that we videotaped up in Grand Prairie. Afterwards, what the coaches do is they do what's called an ODK. O stands for offense, D for defense, K for kick. When coaches look at our video, they're not worried about the various techniques that we do to shoot that video, but then they'll realize when they see other video when it's not done properly, and so they'll then sense that this is the proper way that video should be shot.
Well, how is it different than someone that is maybe just using their own iPhone or whatever?
We use professional cameras to begin with, always use a tripod, and so everything that we videotape has got to be steady. Each sport has sort of do's and don'ts when it comes to coaching video. For hockey per se, how do you videotape power play? How do you videotape penalty kill? When do you shoot the score clock? When do you shoot referees? And so there's all these sort of do's and don'ts that I've learned from various coaches over the years. We sort of go from there.
Monday I was doing volleyball. Today I'm doing football. Tomorrow I'm doing Golden Bears hockey game.
And most of what you do videoing for coaches is football, but what are the other sports?
Basketball, volleyball, soccer, hockey, those are our main other sports that we do. We've done other sports, track and field for the U of A, but those are our main ones.
And all the games we did that we did for the Huskies and Wildcats, they were streamed live on our YouTube page.
Sometimes one camera, other times more, right?
When it comes to football, typically what you'll see for high school football is what's called a side cut camera. We're shooting from the side. But another really good angle is what's called an end cut, where you can see the line blocking. At the higher levels, they'll do what's called an intercut, and so then they'll show from a side cut angle, then from the end cut camera. Football, it's unique when it comes to coaching video.
Football, we start tight on the O and D line, and then we zoom out, and then we follow the play. But at the end of the play, we do zoom in tight. I've had various teams say that they enjoy looking at our coaching video because they get the information that they need.
And you service the coaches, but really, in the end, you're also servicing these athletes.
A lot of these players are taking our video and they are putting together recruiting videos. There's a number of different players that are playing in the CFL. It was video of what we videotape. It is rewarding when you see that players are using your video to also getting scholarships.
Rather than calling it a webcast, we call ours a procast, because a lot of the webcasts you see on the internet look really, really bad.
So the long hours, all the coordination, all the work. Rob, what keeps driving you to do this?
The reason I started is that nobody was doing anything for amateur sports. We want to raise the profile of amateur sports. And so going forward with our webcast/procast, we want to do stuff that you'll see on Sportsnet and TSN in regards to professional sports. We want to raise the profile of amateur sports. I think that's sort of the wave of the future.